You are listening to
Talk About the Classic.
And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. We're here, talk about the classic. Tonight's episode is a very special episode because the person that you all despise is not here. Dave is not here. For all you listeners out there, Dave is not here. But there is one person that's sad about that, and her name is Becca Malecki. Becca, do you have any thoughts right out of the gate about Dave not being here?
Well, when Sam initially told me that we were going to record the podcast without Dave, I gasped and I said, what? How is it going to be funny? How is it going to be funny? How is it going to be funny? Which I know is kind of an overreaction.
Yeah. Then
Right.
she threw the wine glass she was holding into
You
the sink
shattered
and
it.
Shattered it.
Right. And you guys were sleeping together at the time, and so it was an odd conversation
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
had come
I don't know
up.
where that wine glass came
And
from.
why were you texting me about the podcast during intercourse? That was
That's a good question.
Yeah.
One day I'll answer it.
So tonight we're in it's different for a couple of reasons. First of all, Dave's not here. Dave is currently on a date with a boomer. She likes his nice buns and his bulge, and I think she's something like he's at work.
Ah, okay.
So we have another special treat. You know, Danny Harris,
Hello.
Danny Hartram.
It is
Danny
Hartram now.
Hartram. Very first episode that
How
my
weird.
wife is on the episode, but my girlfriend Danny Harris has been on the episode.
Your
before.
partner.
My partner. So we got Danny Hartram, Chris Hartram. You might remember me from previous episodes. I'm Chris Hartram, and you got Samalama Ding Dong, the Flip Flop Master, the Pancake Slamma.
Whoop.
The guy whose balls go voomp. We'll get into that later. But so yeah, it's four of us. It's actually a double couple episode.
Oh yeah,
This is a double date.
What is it called?
Double date?
It's
Double
a
date.
double date.
It's a double date. This is
Oh
a double
my
date.
gosh. That's what
So
this
the
one
reason,
should be called.
yeah, this should be
that's
called
what-
double date.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like double
It's like-
dare. Yeah, I like that. So Dave also couldn't be on the show because he is alone and nobody loves him.
Mm-hmm.
He has no woman, and Dave was like, "Please, let me just come on the show, guys." And we're like, you don't have a woman, no one loves you. So I'm going to be making jokes at Dave's expense the entire night because he's not here to defend himself.
You know, the one downside about having or Dave not being here is that there are no peanuts or any
my God.
salted nuts of any kind.
Yeah.
I
Or
can't.
like Slim Jims.
Or when you can hear Dave, munching while he's talking.
No, I mean, exactly.
That's exactly what we're saying. Yeah.
It's
So
the most annoying thing. I don't know why, but it just, I'm like, every time I hear it, I'm like, put the podcast on while I'm on my way to work, and it's like, Dave's good, he's good, he's good, and then all of a sudden you start hearing it early on
Yeah.
too. It's
He's
not
eating
even like
breakfast.
halfway through.
Well, it's
I'm
because
just like,
yeah.
I'm just like, oh, Dave.
So he'll generally wake up, 5:30 because he's a third shifter, as we all know, and
It's
then
breakfast. I thought it was nuts.
oh no,
this whole time.
it is nuts.
That is his breakfast.
Sounds like nuts. You can tell.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
but
his nuts. So Dave's nuts. Dave's nuts are his own breakfast. His own nuts are his own
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah. And every now and then we'll have like a little salty lime chip. I don't know.
And he'll also do like a salted lime almond.
Yeah, I feel like he would do snacks that aren't like original classic.
'Cause
He
he's
probably
not
has
classic.
a little bit of like, like a jalapeno lime.
You're thinking like his like
He's also doing it for a topic. He wants someone to notice it.
Yeah.
And
It's
like,
some weird,
I
like
feel
his
like he
LaCroix
does-
are all weird coconut
and then
flavors.
you guys
you know.
get into your products and your the whole.
so
Products.
so right out of the gate, you're saying
Product.
you have criticisms about the show. Then is that what you're saying?
No, I don't. I don't. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, the products. Here we go.
It's not about the products. It's let me
The
just
preferences.
It's more about. Let me lay this out for everybody at home. I know a lot of.
I feel like you guys got offended right there.
No. This is all part of the topics. Me getting offended is actually one of the topics. Number 3 is Chris gets offended. It's something Danny says. But for the listeners at home, and this is important because we were talking about this, Danny Hartram. That sounds weird to say.
Doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right yet, but we'll get there. One of the topics is our marriage. But this is a show about topics, but it's also a show about our lives. That's what the show is. It's just about our lives. So sometimes products come up and they're in our lives. I don't really have anything special to say. That's all. Products are in our lives, I guess, is my point here. But yeah, we got a lot of topics here. First topic on the agenda is Danny Harris, because you're here. You haven't been on in a long time. I just want you to tell Becca and Sam the story of you getting caught with pornography at work.
Oh, what the hell?
So I did say that. I did say that in a misleading way, but it is also true.
Okay.
So what is the story, Danny?
Well, first off, last time I think I was on this podcast, I was just starting work back up, and work meant restaurant, and I was working at Cucina.
Oh my God, that's true. The last
that
time
it?
you were
Wow,
on an
that's-
episode,
And I was
good.
scared. I was like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember being like, I don't know, I'm like the mom.
Yeah, that's so funny because the last time you were on the show, you were still working in restaurants. That's how long it's been since you've been on an episode.
Wait, you were scared to work?
Well, I hadn't.
Like, mom shouldn't be working.
No, it was
Is
just
that what you're saying?
weird.
Oh.
Well, no, not like that. Not like that.
Danny, it definitely.
Sam, do you really believe that?
No, I know what you mean. No, just like back in the restaurant world, it was just weird to, prior to I was, in my 20s,
Oh, I
waiting
see what you're saying.
tables.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
then suddenly I was not doing that for a while and being a mom. And actually, I had just had Woody, so I was still like,
You're
kind of a
you're
young
a
mom.
fairly fresh mom.
A fresh mom.
You're a
yeah.
fresh mom. A fresh fucking hot mom. So fresh.
Anyways, it was weird to get back into that, and now
Gotcha.
that feels so far.
Well, tell the people at home, sweetie. What do you do now?
I work at a furniture store. It's called Tyson Furniture.
Yes.
It's
Actually, one of our sponsors, Tyson Furniture.
Yeah.
Come one, come all. You got a question about something from Switzerland that's also furniture? Talk to Danny Hartram at Tyson Furniture.
yeah. So I
So Tyson meats, like Tyson
Sorry.
hot dogs?
They
Is
do
that-
chicken tenders and furniture.
do.
That's
They do
the
both.
joke we always
Okay.
make.
Okay.
so I sell chicken tenders and I sell furniture. Anyways, long
You
story
actually
short, I'm
design
trying to break
con-
into the interior world. What?
I was just sorry. It's past now, but I would say it'd be funny because you're a design consultant and people come in and they're like, not only wanting to buy chicken tenders, but they're like trying to figure out which chicken tenders would like fit their home and their fridge and stuff. And it's so stupid. Sorry.
Sounds like a really bad SNL
It
skit.
really does. Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, so yeah, Tyson is basically like a gold mine of characters, but the people I work with and the customers, I mean, it's just. But anyways, Chris, sends me and all of us porn gifts quite a bit.
I send them to her as like a sign of affection.
And
like a
he'd
loving.
send it to me often, like, I'm like, oh, another porn gift. Like, I mean, it's funny, of course.
Yeah.
It's always hilarious.
I'll be like, "What are you
but-
doing right now?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just working at where I work at my job." And I'm like, "That's cool. I was thinking about this." And I'll just send her like a girl getting rammed. And I didn't think that anybody else would see it, but keep going.
Well, I mean, you guys get them too.
We send them, yeah.
Chris, whenever you send these, is it always meant to be funny, or do you secretly hope it turns us on?
I would say it's kind of it's meant to be funny. And if like you suddenly were getting damp down there in your lady area, I'd be like, well, that's an added bonus because now your day's more fun and you're having a good time. That's just like a side effect. But the intention is to be like shock humor, like, whoa, I just saw porn.
It certainly shocked my coworkers. Actually, no, they kind of
Well, to walk us
loved it.
through it, what happened?
They,
Well, so
they loved
anyways,
it.
They were
I
all
loved
loved it.
They got
So like maybe I can't remember. Had I already told you to not do that to me? Not do that anymore?
You told me many times, don't do this to me.
Oh, okay. No. It got to a point where I realized
It got to a
like,
point where she started saying, stop sending them at work because someone's going to see
because I
it.
keep my laptop up, and I'm in a place of traffic of my coworkers, and
She like has a lot of just to set it up for you guys. There's like rows of desks.
it's amazing. It's like
an
literally
open-
from the 1970s.
Yeah, it's literally like you walk into Mad Men or something. It's like there's the gigantic mile-long furniture store, but there's also this massive open office with all these different
You guys have seen.
working.
They've
You've seen it.
Yeah,
Working
I've never seen
women. There's
that.
all the for the listeners at home, like rows of desks, so people will walk behind her desk.
Sure, yeah.
very excited when she first said she had a desk. Oh, yeah.
Becca, what I'm going to need you to do because it's hard. When when you want to talk, you go like this. You kind and then same thing with you, Danny. Yeah. And then whoever wants to talk, you grab it. Just pull it towards you.
Okay.
So keep going, Danny. So you're sitting at your desk. You're like, I miss Chris. I'm thinking about sex.
It was first thing in the morning. I had just gotten in. I opened my computer, and everyone's kind of quiet at their desk. Not everybody's even there yet. And I'm always extremely aware when somebody's behind me because I'm very observant. And so I just opened it, and of course, the first thing that pops
It's
up
iMessage.
is like, is the iMessage, and it's Chris's chat box. And it's just this woman ramming this. Well, she was writing.
She was right.
She was writing furiously.
She was furious.
Man.
So she was on top of him.
I opened it up. Yeah, she was on top of him. I'm sure you remember.
There's so many.
Yeah,
It's hard to say.
remember, so I need details.
Actually,
I'm
yeah.
imagining Chris
bring it up.
googling this, like woman writing furiously.
Well, yeah, I'll like.
what are you looking
based
for?
on like Danny, I know Danny's mood, and I'm like, it'd be funny for this day, and it would be like a woman writing furiously. So I'll write like woman writing furiously, or I'll type in like #furious, and I'll try to figure out. Was it this
Fast
one?
and Furious.
And so, I'm sitting. I just opened my computer. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I gotta delete this. How do I delete this? How do I do that? And suddenly, my coworker Tracy, who's late 50s, and really dry, very very dry, and really intense, but funny. And she goes, oh well, I didn't know she was there. And all of a sudden I hear, why are you looking at porn? And in a very dry way where she
Yeah.
And this is like there's lots of people around.
Yeah, and luckily, Diane, who is my my neighbor in front of me,
It's
who's
not that one, is it?
amazing as well. No, it's not that one. She's not writing.
Oh,
clearly.
he's writing her.
Yeah,
out.
there's nothing furious.
Oh,
about
he's
that.
right.
There's also no fury.
There's not much fury. Yeah.
But that got Diane cackling so hard, and then everybody started laughing, and I was like, I just put my head down. I'm like,
Is it that one? Fury.
no.
So I guess
Oh, I see.
Tracy
It's gotta
was
be
not
it's that one, baby.
dry anymore.
Danny, is that one? I think
No.
I think
Yeah, that's
that's
it.
it.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, I specifically thought that kind of looked like you a little bit, and so I was like, "Oh, this is funny." She's like trying to like work and be serious, and I'm like,
All right.
"This GIF looks like Danny."
Well, Tracy openly says she hasn't had sex in 10 years. So she kind of like, like she did.
Whoa,
like-
wow. So she probably
She doesn't listen to this podcast.
I'm sure she liked
I
it.
keep
No, I
bringing
doubt
up the
it.
fact that
So
she's
she probably
dry.
so
Even if she did, she would probably find it really funny.
yeah. So she's So maybe
So everyone started laughing, and I put my head down. I'm like, okay, I told Chris not to do this anymore, but okay, here's the deal. He sends me porn gifts as a joke. GIFs, not gifts.
yeah, technically GIF, but
Yeah.
most people say GIF, but
And-
whatever.
I told him you can't be sending these to me at work, and then I just explained that it was from the weekend. Actually, he
is from
was
the
following
weekend.
the rules.
I followed the rules. She just she hadn't deleted it.
It just
okay, right.
it was just
They
the
built
last
up.
thing.
Because most of the time I'll look up some furious GIFs and then I'll kind of look at my calendar. I'll kind of turn and I'll be like, it's a Saturday. No, she works Saturday. Sunday I can send it. And then I'll send it. And then you'll see it. And then you're like, gotta delete it. Forgot to delete it. Yeah. Right. So yeah.
That's the story.
But that's the
That's
whole
pretty
story.
good.
Yeah.
That's pretty. So wait, did they all see it, or did they just hear?
Tracy's the only one that saw it.
Okay,
I wouldn't.
okay.
I didn't even say, "You guys want to see it?"
Right.
And nobody asked.
No one
so,
asked.
Right.
But Tracy said, "Oh, they were going at it."
She said they were going at it.
Oh, they were going at it.
That's amazing. Tracy probably went home that night and like was a little stirred.
I can maybe.
Yeah, I bet she was. She could be an avid pornography user. I don't know. Have you ever been caught watching porn at work, reprimanded for pornography abuse at work?
No.
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 Becca?
I mean, just like, my mom caught some photo, back in the day in the internet in the 90s.
Sure.
you would download like an image or something, and it would take like 4 hours. You know, so I had a folder with like some images in there, and
Sure.
like she found them.
Classic.
Yeah, but that's the
What
only
did she
time I
do?
got like busted.
What happened to you?
She was just like acted really disappointed.
Right. She was disappointed. She's like, I just never thought you would want to look at naked women. This
I know. I don't know what was so surprising.
the best getting busted porn story, and stop me if I've told this on the episode or a show before, but is one time we were out of town and then we came back, and then a few days later, my mom was like, called us all into the room, and she was like, I just looked into the history. Which one of you are gay? And then we're like, me and all the brothers were sitting there. We're like really scratching our heads. And we're like, what?
Oh my god!
And we're like, so then we're like, and then she shows us why. And there's like days of gay pornography in the history. So,
Right.
and this is like, we were out of town, but we had been back for a week. So me and all the brothers, of course, are like, one of us is gay. And one of us has been looking at tons of gay porn, and we never knew. And I was
Right.
like, I probably must have been like,
I'm sure you assumed it was Adam.
I assumed it was Adam. Yeah. But then also it's like one of those things where like me and Dustin and Jamie all said we thought it was Adam because that's like the joke. The joke was like that
I
was
love that you guys are talking about this in the corner. You're like, I think it's
well it was like a joke, but we all made the joke, and then it was like obviously then we all started pointing fingers, then we were just laughing, and then we kind of realized like it's clearly not any of us, and then we were like, well, check the dates, and my mom was like grilling us, and she was like, boy on boy, teen, man, big black dicks going into young man, and she's like reading all the titles out. She was like drinking the cum of men, and she's like, and this is my mother who like works for the Roman Catholic Church at the time, and it's like she's saying these things to us, and we're just like,
But she was also kind of really excited because she actually wanted one of you.
She
guys
wanted
to
all-
be
she-
gay.
her-
She probably was excited.
Well, her brother was-
and also disturbed.
her
at the
brother
same
was gay, and she always wanted a daughter, never got a daughter. So then she was like always kind of pushing this, I wouldn't say a homosexual agenda, but I would say like it's okay if you're often say like it's okay if one of you guys are gay, and we'd all be eating dinner. And we're like, yeah, we know none of us are gay.
It's just like an open invitation.
Yeah, it's
she was
like-
always just ready for the
Exactly.
invitation.
Exactly. She was always just kind of like letting us know we could be gay. And but anyway, so we like
That's awesome.
we were all like trying to figure out who's the gay porno? Whose gay porno was it? I was like, is it my dad's? Is he a closeted gay? And then like we couldn't figure out. Finally, we like started looking at all the dates, and we realized that all the dates coincided with when we were out of town, and our friend house sat for us, a male friend, and none of us knew he was gay, and
Yeah.
that's the way he came out of the closet for the rest of his life. And then he talked to my mom, and she hugged him, and he cried, and she cried, and he was like, I never told anybody before. And she's like, it's amazing. So she kind of got her conversation with
That's
somebody
amazing.
coming out.
What a story.
And then the rest of his life, he's a proud gay man who has
But how did you guys confront him about it?
he came over and my mom and him had a
That's
private
touchy. That's
well, my
touchy.
mom and him had a private. He was very close to us, but my mom and him had a private conversation, and then they did that, and then when they came out, I was young and stupid. I was like, dude, you were gay the whole time? Like, that's amazing. I didn't know you were gay. That's hilarious. And he was like laughing. He was like, I just never thought I would tell you guys. I don't know. I just felt weird about it. And then we were just laughing, and like now he loves that story. Like the story
Yeah.
of his coming out is getting caught for gay porn at our house. So it was a very good getting caught for porn story. But the
That's awesome.
first time I got busted for porn was the internet was so early. We didn't know that history existed.
Yeah.
And one time my mom found the history
Yeah.
at the dawn of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing. It was straight porn this time. I think it was like a combination of me and Dustin. She did the same thing. She read through the whole list of the titles just to embarrass us. She was like, girls.
She loves reading the title.
Yeah, so we started making the joke. We started making
Version of your mom. Oh my god.
we started making the joke that like because she read them for way too long, and we were like made that joke. We're like, mom, are you enjoying reading these out loud? And like 10 minutes later, she was like, cum dripping off large breasts and puckered buttholes, and we're like, mom, we get it. You found porn. You don't have to keep reading it. She was like, hold on, there's more. Becca, did you ever get caught? It's different for girls, but did you ever get caught looking at porn?
I was gonna say, I was wondering if you were gonna ask me or Danny.
Well, yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah, well, only because a lot of people think that girls don't look at porn, and I don't know. Maybe I don't speak for you, Danny, but I've actually never been caught with porn.
Well, I think girls look at porn. I just think the girls don't have the experience as boys do, where they're like looking at it so much that they're like getting busted when they're young. And also, if a parent found a girl looking at porn, they wouldn't like bust them. It's like a different like playing field, right?
Well, so I always made sure to clear my history, but the one thing that I did get busted for was taking inappropriate photos.
Oh, see, you're younger than us, so that didn't really exist for our generation.
No, but I like use them with like the family digital camera. Like this was like I didn't even have a cell phone. Like I like it was premeditated. Like I had to upload this shit.
Your dad
and
is
put
like
it in a
he's
separate...
like getting a roll of film developed at CBS, and like half of them are a family reunion, and then the other half are like Becca spreading her legs, and he's like, oh.
No. But like, I mean, it's something that you would still upload on the family computer, and I think it was just in this like separate folder
Cache
that
of
was
some
just
sort.
like weird. And he's just like, what are these? Like, where do these come from? Like,
How old were you?
Oh my god.
I think I like was in eighth grade.
Oh, that's
Eighth or
really
ninth
young.
grade.
That's
Yeah.
really young.
Is that young?
Yeah.
JK, I was like a senior.
She's like, JK, I was in college. Never mind. But was this for a boyfriend or for your own situation?
It was like, yeah, for my internet boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, boyfriend.
Yeah, this was like during like
right. That makes
AIM and
Got you.
and you know
One
like
that
chat rooms.
You ran away for one time.
I never got caught with that guy. No, this was like even before that.
See, that's dangerous on a whole different level, because taking photos of yourself on your own phone is one thing, but then like in that weird in-between age, you're not only a child, but you're like sending naked photos of yourself as a child through the internet to like random guys. So then like your parents were probably freaked out about like the implications.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, but let's face it. There's like teenage movies. I mean,
There's teenage movies.
there's teenage there's teenage like.
What if there was a period right there? You go, let's face it, there's teenage movies. Okay, I rest my case.
No, but there's teenage like rom-coms where we know teenagers are having sex. Like
Sure.
I'm still like 14. You know what I mean?
Those
Which
are
is
the only
still
kind of
pretty
movies I
young.
watch.
But I mean, but at the same exact time, like it happens.
Sure, of course.
And I wasn't having sex. I was just like, and it wasn't like nude. It was just like me and my underwear.
They were like,
you know what
they
I
were
mean?
scandalous.
They were like, they were just, yeah, they were like provocative. They weren't like, I wasn't like, you know,
okay.
spread eagle as like a 14-year-old. Like,
Right.
where am I going to send those?
Okay, got you. Got you. And Sam's like, could I get those photos now?
I actually tried
or-"
finding them for you. So. Just kidding.
Sam, don't lie to the people at home.
Wait,
And
did you
next
set up like
topic.
a timer or something?
No, it was like mainly I had to like hold it far
So it was like a
away,
selfie.
and it was kind of a selfie, but it was like literally just my
Nether
like,
regions, panties. or
just my
something.
like panties. Like, why am I going to detail? But the reason why
do not know.
Sam was like, I don't know, and I wish you would. And I'm like, what did the panties smell like? Okay.
anyway, Danny,
Sammy's
do you have a
cracking up.
story?
Did your parents ever find like?
I honestly don't have a story.
I would say that's why I think it's different that. Even though
But
I know
I-
women look at pornography, it's like they don't. It's like my parents. I mean, I came from a family of boys, but I feel like girls, and I can't speak for everybody, aren't like stashing porn mags everywhere. I don't. Like if I had a daughter and my dad found porn mags like of a girl, he would just be so uncomfortable. He was just like, I'm not fucking dealing with that.
Yeah.
But then a mother for their boy, she's like, you're gonna burn in hell. You know, it's like a different relationship, right?
Also, like for me, my parents were super
Chill.
smart.
Yeah.
No. Well, they were super chill. Yeah. But very smart. When it comes to knowing, being very observant, and my dad, he had a Mac computer that he was really well versed in. And
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it was still new technology, but like very new.
That's true. Your dad
But
was
still,
more
like I would
computer savvy.
never even try to do anything on the internet
On the
because
family computer,
I know even if I try to like hide it somehow, like delete it and delete
Right.
the history, or somehow it would come up.
Sure.
So I didn't even touch that.
See, yours was
with anything.
yours was so unique because ours was more traditional, where we're young. we're looking at porn on the computer. My parents are like, "What's a computer?" And so we thought we were like invincible, whereas
Yeah.
your dad was more savvy than you at the time. So you
Savvy,
were
that's the word.
You were like fucked basically in that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I thought I was smart. I just created a lot of folders inside of folders.
Sure.
It'd be like, this is my music folder, and inside it would be like, this is my Grateful Dead folder, and inside that it'd be like, this is my Grateful Dead album number 3 folder, and then inside that would be, this is song 10 folder.
No, it's a good
And
tactic
inside
because
that-
eventually she's like, "I don't have time to keep going through this."
right. Yeah.
2
Really
hours
smart.
2 hours later, you're like, "Song 2, second tape." Your mom is like, "I know there's porn in here. I just gotta
I can't
keep
keep double clicking.
Or what if your mother really just wanted to hear Grateful Dead? She's just like, "I gotta find this song."
I hate the Grateful Dead. I don't know.
What about
Grateful
American?
Dead's actually really good.
What
Just
about
throwing that out.
what about
Yeah.
American Beauty? That is an album that I love. Have you ever listened to American Beauty?
No,
that's
I don't think
that's
so.
a
It's
song.
one
I
of those
don't
things
know.
you got to give it a chance.
Yeah.
It's so good, and they have a bad rep. Well, they have a good rep, but also
Yeah.
they have a bad rep for people that
Yeah. No,
alternative.
my experience is like I like Jerry Garcia. I think he's like a great musician, and like there's other albums that he's been in outside of Grateful Dead which I really like, but the band itself, yeah.
And you like his ice cream, right?
I definitely do.
I feel like that was a Dave joke.
Yeah,
I
Ch-
apologize.
Cherry Garcia. Cherry Garcia is definitely like a great flavor.
I don't really
of
want
ice
to talk
cream.
about products,
I was
but
gonna-
I will say
I was just
Ben
gonna
and
say-
Jerry's.
I was just gonna say,
I think it
Their
truly
vegan,
is the
their
best
vegan ice cream we just
of all
had is
time.
amazing.
I was just going to make the joke that if we talk about products, Danny will not sleep with me tonight. But also, this is where it's funny because you're the one who's obsessed with Ben and Jerry's, not me.
It's true.
Interesting.
Interesting. And
So,
scene.
pornography, we covered that. That was good. Danny, you are my wife now. You know, the listeners at home haven't heard an episode since we got married. Does anyone have any, how does it feel to be married? Does anyone have any stories from the wedding? I mean, for me, all I can say is we got married just few weeks ago, month ago?
It was a little over a month
it was
ago.
over.
Who can calculate it?
Yeah, I mean, who can really say? Who can really say?
No one knows
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, that was a wild time. Is there anything weird about having your last name change now? Because all the documents and the cards, they're all saying
Well, it's not fully changed yet.
what, Becca? What were you going to say? Hand it over.
Well, I wasn't exactly sure. It kind of seems inconvenient. No offense, Chris.
No,
Like,
no,
I'm
no.
happy. Yeah, but it does seem.
Well, in your like mid 30s, yeah, it's a totally different ballgame than when you change it in your early 20s. But
Wait, okay, I
it's-
want to hear. Finish your. Why is it inconvenient?
I mean, think about all the bills, the cards, like everything. I mean,
Right.
it seems annoying to do.
I mean, you are the love of my life, but I mean, Spectrum, I mean, I gotta call them.
She's like. I mean, I'd love to pledge my life to you, and you are my undying true love. But like, it's kind of a headache. I have to like make a phone call,
okay, so they-
sign my name on a piece of paper.
they make it easy these days because they have these apps. Like I used one called Newly Named, and they kind of just send you a whole package. Well, or you have the choice to get a PDF version and print it out yourself, or they send you a package, and they kind of like set it all up for you and how you make it as easy as possible for you. So like you just fill out information with them, and then they send you these documents or PDFs with it kind of already filled out, and then you just go to these places that you need to go to in person. So I am actually legally now
Tell them
Danielle Loren Harris Hartram, because it's now it's attached to my social security number, which I think that is the most legal.
And also, I will say, I'm not for the listeners at home. I'm not some old school. Like you will change our name. You were very excited to change your name to Hartram. Like you were like at least proactive. You're like, I want to get it done. I want to.
Well, I think
it.
that's
Yeah.
like one of like the fun things about getting married. It's like
Yeah.
you wear a ring, you get to say husband, and you get to change your name.
Yeah.
Well, I feel bad actually for people that have women who have amazing last names and then kind of have to change them to something boring. Or just not boring, but not as good as maybe
So
theirs. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, I love my last name. It's my last name, but like, it's a very normal last name. and I went from a normal one to like a really unique one. So I had it good, but some people like, I'm like, man, that would be hard to.
Yeah.
So wait, let's
I
hear.
am Becca Malecki.
Well, let's hear. So Becca Malecki. So the people at home, and I don't know if who knows what you guys are planning. There's no pressure here about marriage. We don't need to talk about marriage. But if for some reason that Becca found it in her schedule to have, if Becca found it in her busy inconvenient schedule to change her name, which I know it's so impossible. No, but jokes aside, so Becca Malecki, the people at home, there's T-shirts that people wear. Becca Malecki. People have been calling in, speaking out like about Becca Malecki and how much that's like a trending.
You gotta say your middle name. It's
Oh yeah, tell everyone what's the full name.
I don't think anyone knows my middle name.
Go
on
ahead.
here. All right, so my middle name is Suheti, after my grandma, and my entire name would rhyme if I went by Becky. So in 6th grade specifically is when I don't know why I told someone but anyway, they started chanting Becky Suheti Malecki, which
Becky Suheti Malecki. Okay.
Yeah, but like I also don't like the name. But even like Becca Suheti Malecki sounds still
I mean, it sounds pretty badass. It sounds like kind of Asian in a cool way. It would be like if Danny's name was like Danny Manny Fanny.
Danny
Just
Manny
be insane.
Fanny. Yeah.
So
That's
if
interesting.
you were going to, let's say, marry, I don't know, Sam Thompson, would you change your name to Becca Thompson, or would you keep Becca Malecki? What would you do?
See, I feel like Becca Thompson doesn't sound good. I think if I was going to go plain Jane, like I'll have to go by Rebecca all the time. It'd have to be Rebecca Thompson.
Well,
It
see-
sounds classic.
But see,
yeah.
Rebecca Thompson sounds like someone who like vacations in the Hamptons.
Yeah,
I kinda
exactly.
like that.
I like
that. I like
that.
metropolitan style.
I was just about to say it reminds me of like a Whit Stillman.
I was gonna
character.
say Whit Stillman. He's
Oh,
like
wow.
he's like Rebecca Thompson's parties are absolutely the best every year.
So it would have to be that.
Right. It would be Rebecca Thompson.
It would have to be Rebecca
It's
Thompson.
Becca
which
Malecki
it
and it's
would
Rebecca
be.
Thompson.
I mean, I'm still Rebecca after all. And actually, half of the people in my life call me Rebecca because it's on my business cards and I'm always working. So actually, most people like in my work life do call me.
Oh, so you
Rebecca.
could go Rebecca and you'd be okay with
I
it.
go Rebecca.
And can I
don't
just
care.
say that what you
Okay.
just said, if you had a Hulu original show about your life, it would be called Rebecca After All. Because you just said that. That sounds like a Hulu original. She's like,
That is-
tonight on Rebecca After All. And you're like,
Rebecca after all.
doesn't it sound like the name of the show?
It does.
Yeah. So maybe there could be a spin-off of Talk About the Classic, once our empire completely, and it's called,
Right,
and there's a
yeah.
spin-off, it's called Rebecca After All. And it's about your new life with the last name Thompson.
Oh, and then I just turned super white. Like
Yeah.
I've been,
Yeah.
I always play up my my Asian side, and then I
Right.
fully go white.
Yeah,
I
you
like
put-
abandon that.
You're like, I just have a tan. I'm Rebecca Thompson. So Sam, you might change your name to Sammy Malecki.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Sammy Malecki.
Sammy Malecki is like a really good one.
Yeah.
So we got Sam Thompson, we got Becca Malecki, we got Danny Hartram, we got Chris Hartram, possibly a Sammy Malecki in the future, possibly
Sammy
a.
Malecki.
Sammy
oh
Malecki.
my gosh. Samuel Malecki.
You're a Christopher.
I'm technically
Full.
Christopher Gordon.
You
Mike.
guys, we all have full names that we don't use.
Yeah.
Danielle, Christopher, Samuel, and Rebecca.
Yeah.
Right.
Could you guys go back, like revert to like people calling you by your full name?
No.
The only person who's ever called me, as usual, would be my mother. Used to say Christopher when she was mad at me.
Right.
But I mean, I have not gone by Christopher. I've been Chris Hartram my entire life. Like,
Yeah.
someone saying Christopher, I probably wouldn't even turn my head.
Right.
Unless it was my mom's
I
voice.
feel like some people with names like ours, like they stick with the original and get really annoyed. They have like a pet peeve about people shortening their name,
Or
like
you-
against their will.
Right.
you
Or
know?
you have someone like my brother who he was always Jamie. And when he got older, because he's the youngest brother,
Right.
he wanted to have like a little bit more like respecto as like, as an adult. And so he's like, I'm Jameson now. And
Which
then-
is a great
which is a
name.
yeah,
fantastic-
love it.
Jameson's a fantastic name, but so now we always know when people met him because when we meet people from a certain era of his life and they call him Jameson, we're like, oh, this was post name change.
Right.
In his family, we all call him Jamie. We can't
But
help
birth certificate is Jameson?
It's Jameson.
Oh, okay.
His name is Jameson Charles Hartram.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that I don't consider myself Christopher, and it would be too annoying, and there's no fucking point whatsoever. But if I could magically snap my fingers, I would just be Chris Hartram, like legally. You know, I don't need my middle name. I don't need the Topher. But you know,
It's kind of sad though to lose that name because you're so used to seeing that like legally and on all your legal documents, and then like for me, Danny is so not. It's like 4 letters, like Danny. It's like it's not like legal.
It's not legal. It's not enough letters to be legal.
that's one of my favorite
not
things about
like-
you is you always
what's the
seem like
word?
barely legal. You know? That's like really hot.
So I think Sam and I are the only one. Like, well, no one really calls you Samuel except for sometimes your mom does, and I do sometimes. But it's more like a joke. Sometimes I call
Yeah.
you Samuel, and then, but I think I go still halfway now. Just because of this job, because people, I mean, that's just what
It sounds more
email
professional
says.
as somebody who's
Yeah.
working from Rebecca or Becca, right? It sounds like Rebecca sounds more like I'm at the Hamptons, you know.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm especially with country clubs. Like, they
Oh,
don't
you
know
gotta
me
go
as-
Rebecca.
They don't know me as Becca. I don't even know who she is. Yeah.
Becca to
Yeah.
me, like even though I see you as Becca Malecki, like super badass, like working woman, independent, cool chick. If I met like another Becca in my past, the name Becca, even though I don't associate this with you at all, it seems more like a young, fun Becca, like a fun young thing. And then Rebecca sounds like literary or like biblical or like
Or
serious.
Hitchcock.
Or
which is
Hitchcock.
What it's.
I think of the-
what I'm named after.
Right. I think I think there's so many different like literary and film references to Rebecca, but yeah, it's a serious name. Nobody's fucking around with that name, you know. Samuel, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too. I don't know. I don't like it.
Samuel is almost too
personally.
biblical when you say it out loud.
Right.
Samuel.
Yeah,
Samuel.
It's yeah.
I have to say
Exactly,
though,
exactly.
Sam is like one of my favorite names.
I'm glad. Yeah, I like
Oh,
Sam.
Dan-
I
Danny's
would
always said she loves the
totally
name
name
Sam. Yeah.
if I had a third son.
Actually, wasn't Sam, was
would it-
Sam ever in the running?
No, I know it's funny because I have so many. I just have so many friends named Sam. It almost kind
Right.
of feels weird. To
Well,
me.
our
yeah,
generation.
but I
Sam
still
is-
think it's a great name.
Yeah. Well, we even said recently that if I got her pregnant again, because I'm constantly trying, that we would name our child Sam for other reasons, but we would now the cat's
But
out
really,
of the bag. But we would tell,
the cat's out of the bag.
cat's out of the bag.
Well,
But
we're
you're
not having a
right,
third
we're not getting
anyway,
a
so it
third
doesn't
anyway.
matter.
But anyway, we had this elaborate plan where I'm gonna knock her. I'm gonna knock her up soon. We're gonna name our kid Sam. And even though she's always loved the name, we were gonna like try to keep it going for years. That we straight up only named the child after Sam Thompson. We're like, this is Sam, your birthright. We named you after Sam. Like, we were gonna do that, but we never had a third kid. Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so odd because John, your friend, named his son after you.
Oh, my middle name.
Yeah, what's up?
Or did he?
But he did because my middle name is weird. So,
It's Maxwell.
Max Ton.
Oh, Maxton. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty uncommon. So yeah.
Well, it's funny because our first son is named after you as well, Max.
Yeah. I mean, teachers would always, because teachers read your name, read the roll or whatever, right? So, that they always, my name kind of rolls off the tongue, just like you were saying, Samuel Maxton Thompson.
Right, Samuel Maxton Thompson.
Yeah. So there's that. So they always would, call me up after class and take me back to their
And
apartment.
what would they do? And fucking suck your, yeah.
No, they just like my name. They would just tell me, like,
They would talk to you. Your teacher's like, Samuel Maxton Thompson. She's like, please come on the front of my tits. And then it turns into a furious porn gif, and I send it to Danny years later. It's all connected.
Full circle.
Full circle. Yeah. Chris Hartram, people would, my thing whenever I was young for my whole life was always like, Hartram, and I'd be like, it's Hartram, and they're like, Chris Hartram. It's always Hartram.
I
Right,
mean,
the
I'm
T is
already
silent.
having issues. Like,
Are you getting that? It's such an uncommon
I'm
name.
not like
No one's ever seen it.
I'm not yet like fully going by it, but well, just because it doesn't like who says my first and last name all
Right.
the time. But at work, people are like, "So wait, what's your last name now?" And I'm like Hartram, and they're like Hartman, and Hartram. I'm like, yeah, Hartram with the M, Hartram. And I'm like realizing. Oh, it's not going to be easy.
Well, I
anymore.
always say
like,
Hartram, and they say Hartran, or Hartman. I go
Yeah.
heart. It's heart and rum.
Rum, yeah.
But say it
That's
fast.
Evans and
Heart-
Mary,
It's like
Evans
a
and Mary.
Yeah, it's a heart drenched in rum. Hartram. They say it quick. Hartram.
Heart rum.
Yeah.
Hartram.
Heart rum.
It's like you got the Hemingway, you got the cocktails, you get the
Yeah,
pirate.
I like
you know,
that.
But yeah, names. What do we got here for topics here? Okay, so we never even said. So the only reason we brought up names is I was like, "What's it like to be Hartram now? You're Hartram. We're married. Pretty solid wedding.
Pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
No, it was probably the best wedding I've been to.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was great.
That's nice to
I
see.
mean, I definitely cried a lot.
You did cry?
Yeah, a lot of great speeches, a lot of great moments.
What was one of the moments you cried at? First moment. We don't have to get too cheesy, but what was it? Do you have any crying moments?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I always cry in like any ceremony.
Yeah, it's like
It's just like it's
all of a sudden tugs at your heartstrings.
yeah. I mean,
Really
when
hard.
So the vows, right? The vows were
always get me,
tough.
but actually no, it
were
was
tough.
Danny's vows in particular because like you're a wordsman.
I'm
you know?
verbose.
a wordsmith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a wordsman. I'm a
Yeah,
wordsmith.
And so,
Well, so
like,
many
we
people
already-
said that they're like, we're used to you saying things dramatic and flowery and going off on some shit, but we never hear Danny talk like that.
Yeah, or
that's
like,
so
you
many
know,
people said that.
you never
right,
really
right,
express your like actually how you're not that you're not like expressive or not emotional because you are, but like you never really.
No, I get it.
Yeah. So when you started talking, I could not keep it together.
I mean, believe
was
me,
trying
I could not.
Really,
Oh, you were
really
losing
I mean,
it.
you have to
Yeah.
understand, Danny is a very like cool as a cucumber, laid back, kind of like classic stiff upper lip kind of person.
Yes,
And,
they stick up her ass.
stick up her ass. I go, she's a total bitch. She's a goddamn bitch. No, she's very like stiff upper lip, where like the British kind of concept of like, the feelings are there and we talk about it, but for me, I just like can't shut the fuck up, So we're like we balance each other out. So when she started going into that stuff, and I was standing there, and I was just like, I'd never heard her talk like that, so directly,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of writing my vows, I was like, oh no. But then it just like actually so organically and easily happened for me. So,
It really felt like, I mean, I know probably a lot of people have said this, but like it felt like that you guys coordinated your vows.
Not at all.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I mean, as
We
in-
both brought up the
it's-
Matrix.
The Matrix
know.
is weird.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I had no idea, and she had no idea.
I mean, that's insane.
no.
I mean, but to be fair, we had just kind of recently gone through a huge Matrix.
Like to be honest,
watch
like we
party.
didn't coordinate shit. But I mean, right before the wedding, we binged all the Matrix films. We kept talking about how even though our relationship made no sense, it was as if we had like there was some destiny. It's cheesy as this sounds. Sorry, listeners at home. I know this is getting cheesy, but we kept bringing up like
It's so cheesy.
it's so cheesy, but past lives and how there was something that made no sense about how we had been here before, and then we were watching the Matrix films. We're like, dorkily, like we're Neo and Trinity, It's like, and so, like in my vows, it just worked. I organically worked that in because that's what I was thinking about, and I guess you were probably
Yeah.
just thinking about
That's
that.
Yeah,
so you guys, the
I
Matrix
know.
is good.
But it's funny when
The Matrix.
when I said the Matrix line from the audience, Adam was like, "Yeah,"
That's so funny.
yeah, because he was like excited. We're like bringing up the Matrix.
Yeah. That's so good. I love that.
So the Matrix.
So the Matrix. Here's the thing about the Matrix. So you know what? This reminds me. The wedding. The wedding was flawless. Ceremony was flawless. I've never, in all my years of being married to different people, I have never been as happy as I am with Danny. She is so hot and so sexy. But that reminds me that the dance party, which was so fun, wasn't there something about the DJ we were talking about the other day? What was it we were talking about? Because that is amazing. We had the greatest time, and fucking Kent Abu Disarray. Let me tell you, this guy kicks fucking ass. He's actually one of the sponsors of the show. But what was the thing about you and Sam were having a debate at the pool about DJs and mashing up? What was it again? I can't remember.
Well,
it was
I
more
mean,
of a
can we
general.
talk about this because I might offend DJs?
No. Kent is a big fan of the show, and I'm just kidding. He's never listened to the show, but the idea of you and Sam, who is a DJ, and Sam's like, you mash stuff up, and then you're like, I don't like the mashup. And I walked over to we were at the pool the other day for the listeners at home. I heard the tail end, and we
Yeah.
were like, save it for the show. What
Yeah.
were we talking about? Like, what was the debate?
Well, I think that Danny wanted basically. Danny thinks that DJs, and I don't think this is really specific to the wedding at all. Like, this would also be true if we're talking about
it's
like
overall.
any
Oh my gosh,
time
yeah.
you're like around a DJ. And
anytime I'm around a DJ.
I'm around a DJ.
What am I
Whenever
saying?
I'm around a DJ, I'm like something's happening. I'm around a DJ.
No, but you made 2 points basically. Number one, like the mashing up of things. So combining a song with another song.
Taking a perfectly good song,
Right, the song,
and then putting
yeah,
like,
and then adding something else to
I'm
it.
just like, it just breaks my heart.
Your heart
Right.
breaks.
It really does, because I'm so, you know, I'm a movement-based person. So when a song comes on that I know every little detail of, and there's all these little details that
Yeah.
like get me.
You kind
in
of have
certain
like a
different
choreography
ways.
in your brain you're looking forward
Well, I
to,
just
then it
know,
messes
yeah.
it up.
And when I can't hear those details, I'm just like, no.
And then Sam, so that's a good point. And Sam, what was
Right.
your
And
point
well, and the other thing that you mentioned was just like cutting songs short. So not letting them play.
Yeah, that's not as big of a problem, but
but that was something that
but yeah,
But that is
so-
a problem because
but it
that's
is a
basically what
problem.
you said. Like you're missing
Yeah.
the details because you don't get a certain section.
Well,
Maybe you
sure.
really
you're
like
waiting for some
the
part.
tail end of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
song
yeah.
and you just don't get there at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta have.
You gotta
You
have
gotta finish it off.
you gotta finish it off. And Sam, what would you say?
I would just say that's all invalid. I'm just kidding.
I like the idea that Sam suddenly he's like, yeah.
So
what
when I was talking about this, I forgot Sam was a DJ.
Yeah. The funniest thing is when Danny was going off on the entire craft of everything that a DJ does. She was basically like reading a list. She was like, every single thing a DJ literally does is bullshit. And then Sam was like, well, that's what I do. That's all I do. And Sam was like, let me tell you why you are trash. So what's the
Yeah.
reason you don't let a song finish? Educate us. For
Oh.
none.
Well, I mean, that's not always true, of course, right?
Yeah, that's not definitely not.
Yeah,
always
but
true.
I mean, it's more about like sort of feeling the energy of the crowd, and
I get that.
Yeah,
I totally get that.
and
I
like
agree with
very see, and it's also probably genre music because for me, genre music, hip hop, like usually allowing the song to completely play out until the end is no good. You
Right.
like
Pe-
lose
people-
the rhythm.
people want
that.
something
of that
I
party.
They wanna
actually
keep
do agree
going.
with that because
Yeah.
sometimes, like, actually, when Dave was DJing, and this isn't his fault because that situation was a
At
little
at
difficult
Tim's
with
wedding.
Wi-Fi.
Tim Spence,
With the Wi-Fi
avid
and,
listener, lover of the show.
But some of the songs would just go on and on and on,
Yeah.
and I would be like,
You're just checking your watch. Like, let's go to
Let's
the
go.
next
See,
thing.
now you're saying the opposite of what you were saying.
No,
at the pool.
I was talking. This was a different conversation because what happened at the pool was they were trying to. It was a family pool. So there were some songs that started playing, like Rogue, that were really good, and I was like feeling it was good, and then it changed. Because they needed to change it because I don't know why.
Yeah,
it changed,
they just
but
went to
I
the
was
next
like
song,
really upset.
like,
So
just-
that's not like really like a DJ thing. That's
Right.
I think yeah, we weren't really at that point yet of me critiquing
Yeah.
DJs.
So the great DJ Holy War, though, the DJ Holy War that we used to have would you say that the beef is squashed? The DJ Holy War.
You seem much more amenable tonight.
Yeah,
Maybe.
tonight you're so much more friendly. Becca, what
Wait. What was the other thing we were talking
Wait,
about?
Becca, wait. What was Becca
What
just
was the
trying
other
to
thing we were
say?
talking
Give
about?
Becca the microphone. Can she have the damn microphone?
Well, the only thing is, and I've never really expressed this to your face.
Oh my
so-
god!
Here it comes. Here it comes. Becca's like, Becca's
This is
like,
insane.
I love the idea. I love the idea that live on the air, Becca's like, I've never expressed you. She goes, but I've been cheating on you. It has nothing to do.
With a different DJ.
She's like, and every time the DJ starts having sex, he changes it to another DJ before he fit. That doesn't make sense. Keep going. What were you gonna say?
No, and I think I want to piggyback off of what Danny was saying because it's not about stopping a song short, but it's how a DJ, and I understand the point of a DJ, and
I've always
just
wondered
not
what is the
into-
point of a fucking DJ.
It's to like mix samples. Like I get it. Like it's your own creative outlook. But yeah, manipulating perfectly good songs is not.
It's kind of like this song is absolutely amazing. I'm a random person. I'll just change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we're
Yeah,
in
but-
like a rave or a techno, and you're
Right.
like trying to like.
But it's not
oh,
like when
Yeah, but-
Sam DJ'd, he would. Sorry to interrupt, but you would never be like, I'm going to make this song better. You would just like transition when people seem to be getting bored of the song.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but the one thing I would say to that is that.
Don't you point your finger
Oh, I'm
at me.
sorry.
This is the end
I'm
of
pointing
all of our
up. It's
relationships.
going to the ceiling. The one thing I would say. I'm wagging my finger for all the listeners.
You're like,
at home.
saddle.
But the one thing I would say to that is like that the genre of hip hop is essentially remaking music in a new
That is
and
true.
original way.
It is a genre of, and everyone knows I know more about hip hop than anybody. It is a genre of songs from other songs.
Right.
Yeah, no,
that is
and
what
I
it is.
understand that, and I love hip hop, but at the same exact time, like I would never go somewhere and like listen to someone's DJ set.
Right, of course. Well,
why would I do that?
Rebecca Thompson, who vacations in the Hamptons, is not going to listen to hip hop.
But who's putting like techno beats over rap songs?
Well, no. We were just discussing the simple concept of changing
Changing music. Making a
and
new
he was
thing
speaking from the
from
perspective
existing
of
music.
only a hip hop DJ because he only DJs hip hop.
Right.
We were just discussing how DJs will suddenly be like, now there's a new beat in the song that you like, and he's saying as a hip hop DJ, hip hop itself is completely derived from previous songs. It is a mixed.
No, I get that.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. You're
So
saying
that means
I'm just
when
talking
a
about-
DJ is doing something live, they're sort of extending that
right.
concept.
It
moment.
is the art form itself taken to the next step. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
So it's not so much like when you like I
Okay,
remember
I
when
still
you,
haven't heard the secret thing
and
that
no,
she's
no,
gonna
and I'm just saying
reveal.
I remember when you DJ.
Oh yeah, the
no,
reveal.
no,
Who are you,
yeah,
who are
is
you
the
sleeping
reveal?
with? Who are you
Is-
sleeping with?
No, there's no reveal. I just don't like DJs, and I know that you're.
Oh my
Becca, oh my God. I'm so glad you said that. Becca, listen, Sam is one of my best friends in the world. Sam is one of my best friends in the world. And the way,
Oh my
Listen,
god!
no, listen.
How have you kept this bottled up for this long?
no, you know why this is so
This
amazing?
is insane.
I have to make an admission too. Now that you've made this a safe space, Sam.
What else haven't you told me?
Well, listen. Danny already knows this, but before I met Sam, I met Sam for the listeners at home in a DJ setting.
Yeah.
I was a bartender. He was a DJ. He's a fantastic DJ. Love his work to pieces. But for years, my whole life, I would always make fun of DJs. And I used to steal the Sarah Silverman joke, and where she talks to this Republican guy, and she was like, talking to this old Republican, she was like, Sarah Silverman's talking to her, she's like, if I had to ask you, would you prefer your son to be, I don't know, what would be worse, your son being a Democrat or, I don't know, something really bad like a DJ? And the old Republican guy is like, I think that it'd be worse if he was a DJ. And I like that joke about like DJs are funny or like I don't like them. Like I used to always say that joke, but I've never been able to express that joke in front of Sam because he's one of my best friends.
No, but you don't think
But you make that joke too.
I
Yeah,
understand
of course.
exactly.
You would make that joke.
Yeah.
See, I actually love
See,
DJs,
no, this is
and that's
Danny's-
why I'm so critical of them. And it's so hard for me to go to a place and enjoy the DJ because
But Danny, here, let's
I
rephrase.
really do love DJs
But
if they do it good and right.
But rephrase this though, because you might say you love DJs, but ever since we've known each other, you have been. What's the ratio of DJs you've liked to disliked? Probably 1
Yeah,
to
but
90.
when there's a good DJ, it's like nothing better. I love
Right,
it.
but it doesn't happen often, is what
No,
you're saying.
it's rare,
It's rare. Yeah.
and it's not the DJ's fault. Actually, it's
the
sometimes it
DJ
is.
knows not what
No.
he does.
It's the people. People are just like it's the people. They don't have good taste, and they don't know. Okay, that's extreme. Who am I to say other people's taste? But
We're gonna be
I think
canceled
it's
by
like
all the DJs
a
in town.
movement thing. Like, I think people are insecure about moving. They don't know what to move to, so like they just naturally move to what they think they should move to, and that's like just not always the greatest.
Can I just
The way
say?
that you just ended that was so amazing.
Can I just say we sound so sweet? It sounds like Rebecca Thompson and Danielle Hartram.
Yes. It sounds like Rebecca Thompson and Danielle Hartram who are like drinking cosmopolitans and they're like very white and they're like in their 40s and they're like, the problem with DJs. Then the funniest thing at the end, you were just like, people don't know how to move, and that is very sad.
Oh, wait.
And that was
don't know.
live. And that was live.
I-
People at home, that was live.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just dug myself into a hole.
No, you didn't. I see what you mean. You're saying it's more
Well,
than
no, the thing
you're
is
saying
though,
the
but
crowd. It's the crowd.
everybody can move. They just.
What if they literally couldn't?
I always tell people you can dance.
Oh my
I
god.
do.
The funniest thing is you're going deeper into this hole of insanity. You're like,
No,
you're like.
okay,
Sometimes I
okay.
go up to people. I go up to people on the street, and you go, "You can move, you can dance." And people,
No, okay, as like a as a dancer.
You're like an activist that goes
you
to
know-
parties and like talks to the people
you
there.
You're
know,
like,
I'm
you can
always-
be you. You are strong. You are young. You can move, and you can move. Danny's show, Becca's is like, what was your show at the end of the day, Rebecca? What is it called?
Rebecca After All.
No, Rebecca After All. And Danny's is like, you can move with Danny Harris or something like that.
Oh my gosh. No, but I as like a dancer and one that was always the one dancing at everything that was where there was dancing. People are like
She's like at McDonald's
I'll
in
have
line, and she's like
friends
dancing.
here
She's
and
like, you can move too.
I will have friends who are like, how do you do it? And I'm always like,
You're like, you can do it too.